I have so many requests.
It's all of them, Esther. It's all of them.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know which one they did. So basically, it's the three of them.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
She
She read all of them. Okay, so normally it's one per class, but for some reason, like I don't know which class she did.
Okay.
So we can.
I'm gonna say all names.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Good morning. I see Yaele is here. Good morning. How are you doing? So we have great sponsors today. Thank you so much. We have a class sponsored by Lynn Barthes. Did I say it right? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. In gratitude with Hashem for her son, Jonathan Benester. That's a beautiful. And then we have a class sponsored for Refuah Shelema, Jacob Israel Ben Sara, by Carla Levy and Hannah Aviva Batzar. And we have a Wednesday class sponsored in honor of our upcoming beautiful awaited Geula. Me too. I mean it. Diana Brahmi. That's a great one. I love it. And then the launch is sponsored by Esther Sidbon for the protection of Am Israel and in gratitude to Hashem for all the miracles that he does for us every little second of the day. Yeah, so yes, the biggest weapon we have in this war is Torah study. And Torah study brings Achdut, brings unity of the Jewish people, and it brings a lot of light to the world, open, revealed blessings. Okay, so we're chapter 2, and we're in page 90. And we were discussing the last time that before Purim, that the child, it's an analogy of how the child is bounded to his father all his life, because the sperm comes from the brain of the father, and the child is from the hair to the toes bounded to his father. Okay, so the same way that he gave us this analogy, he's explaining how we're bounded to Hashem, also because Hashem is our Abba in heaven, and the Jewish soul, the Jewish soul that we have, comes from his wisdom, from his Chokhmah, the highest in the world of Atzilut, where Hashem starts emanating his light. I'm going to give a recap. Atzilut, Beria, Yetzira, Asiya. We have a world of emanation below the Ein Sof, never-ending light. Okay, imagine that. If you don't understand, I'll go back. No. But you have the Ein Sof, okay? You have a never-ending light, eternal. Doesn't have a beginning and an end. And from a certain point, Hashem decided that he wants to have a house in the beach, okay? In this world. We've gone through already 5 parashas that have been talking about the building of the Mishkan. It's I think it's 13 aliyahs that talk about the building of a Mishkan. More than any other situation in the Torah, this is where the most details and time is given to the building of the Mishkan. So from a certain point, Hashem decides to dwell within us, right? This dwell in the midst. So what does he do? He starts contracting his light, making himself, Rabbi Yafi once explained to me, imagine a cone. And so you have this never-ending light on top of the cone. And then you have this cone, and the light starts coming down that cone. So he created 4 different worlds. The higher world is a world of Asilut, which is a world of emanation. He starts throwing his light, emanation. It's part of him. There's nothing else but light. Then he contracts himself a little more. He creates a world called the world of Beria. It's a world of creation. This is where things start being created. Then you have a world of Yetzira, which comes in the lower part of the cone, less light, less revelation. It's a world of formation. So things start taking shape, okay? And then you have the world of Asiya, which is where we live. There's a spiritual Asiya, and then in the tip of the cone where it's pitch black, that's where we are. It's the world of action. And it would seem like this is a very low world, like it's so low, action. But in reality, it's the highest world because the whole purpose of the creation was for the action in this world. And so the action of this world is gonna, every time a Jew learns Torah, does a mitzvah, what he's doing is he's taking that light, that revelation of Hashem, and it goes out of the cone and it goes up again and it merges again with the light. So that's what we do in this world.
You do a braha.
Everything, a braha, you give tzedakah, you come and learn Torah, you do a favor to a friend, all this, everything that is in the mitzvot, it's like I do she'akol here, and then the sparks of the water, the godly sparks that are contained in the water, get released. We don't see it because we don't have that type of vision, but that's what's happening actually, and that spark goes out of that cone and merges with the light up there. So this is the job of a Jew. We are constantly returning the godliness to the God. That's the job of a Jew. That's what we do when we do mitzvot and when we are learning Torah. Learning Torah actually is like you're hugging Hashem. It's the wisdom of God. You're like, when we're learning Torah, it's like you're being embraced by him. But doing the mitzvah is his desire, is his will for the world. So you're connecting to his will, okay? So you're making his will your will. So we were talking about this drop of semen that originates in the father's brain, in Hashem's, talking about Hashem. Hashem doesn't have a brain, obviously, but this is a way to understand how he created the world and how he functions in the world. And he has, from the Ein Sof down, from that never-ending light, right? So from there down, you can relate to him, let's say it. You can come to relate to him. From there up, you can relate to him. So he becomes relatable. In a certain point, he decides he's gonna be relatable. And that's why in the Torah, God extended his hand and God saw and God said to Moshe, and we use all these allegories of human speech and eyes and this, because he wants to be relatable, okay? So what he's saying here is that the essence, I'm gonna repeat this, even his toenails were literally brought into existence from his drop of semen, page 90, by his gestating in the mother's womb for 9 months, having descended level by level, constantly morphing until even nails were formed. And despite this, the drop is still connected and unified in a wondrous and awesome unity with its original essence and being, namely the drop of semen as it originated in the father's brain. So in a certain point, Hashem, in Chokhmah, the highest Chokhmah Ilah, in the world of Atzilut, like whatever. This is very Kabbalistic and very esoteric, but for you to be able to understand, in that point, Hashem, in his wisdom, decides he wants a world. He wants a world, he wants Jews, he creates the whole world for the Jewish people. This is the reason that the world exists. This Tucker Carlson and all these people that want to get rid of us, they don't understand that if one day we don't exist, they won't exist either. They don't have anything more here to grab onto, because the world was created for the Jew. This is why we're here, and the rest of the world is here to be part of the Jewish experience. Let's call it that way, okay? And the whole point is to come to reveal Hashem in the world. Every nation has to reveal Hashem in the world. That's why you have the 7 Noahide laws. A person that is not Jewish, he can keep the 7 Noahide laws. They're not meant to become Jewish. They don't have to be Jewish. If they don't have a Jewish spark, this is not their avodah, but they can be as good as a Jew, keeping the 7 Noahide laws, which is by keeping the seven Noahide laws, they are actively, like a Jew, bringing this world to perfection. Okay? And this is the job of the world. I caught in the elevator today. There's a Chinese girl. I said, how are you today? She says, I'm good. I say, thank God. She looks at me and says, yes, thank God. We're alive. We're alive. I said to her, I hope that today you do a lot of good things. And she looks at me and says, that's a nice way to look at the world. She says, why do you think you're here? I tell her. So she looks at me. I said, you came to this world to do good things.
Wow.
And I said, imagine if every person in this world would do good things, imagine the world we would live. And she looked at me and says, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So a Jew, this is the job. That's what it means to be a light upon the nations. You know, it's an interaction of seconds with one person that you have kidnapped inside of an elevator for seconds, and you have 2 seconds to tell her something that's going to change her outlook in life. That's our job, really. I don't mean we're preachers. We're not here to preach anything, nothing, but to make people aware of God. That's the job of a Jew, to make the world aware, a receptacle that is transparent to the Creator. And when they see a Jew, they see, oh, look at a Jew, look how they think. It's impossible with this Tucker Carlson is saying. I don't believe him. You know, he was saying that Chabad, what does he say? Chabad is like a Mossad agents everywhere, and that their purpose is to build the third temple where the Mosque of the Dome is, the Golden Mosque, what's the name of it? The Rock of the Dome is built, and they want to destroy it so they can build their third temple. And if you want to see, look at all the soldiers, they have these patches they give around where they have a Mashiach now. So they've been making jokes about him like you can't imagine. It's unbelievable.
Like Jews?
He hates Jews.
Tucker.
He hates Jews.
No.
He hates Jews.
He was the right wing, but
No, but he's a maleka to the maximum expression. He's terrible. Yes, terrible. Okay, but what did he do? People everywhere are writing how good Chabad is, even going. And the Chabad has received amounts of donations this week, like if they would have made a gala dinner, like more than that. And that's what he did. Everybody works for Hashem, you see? So here, what he's saying is that which passes from the essence of the father to the child. Today we would call it a genetic code. This is how they call it. This informs the entirety of the child's being, his personality, his talents, his mind, even his toenails, that every same essential life force express itself on all levels. So what the Alter Rebbe is saying, we have a spiritual DNA as Jews. Today, science has shown DNA. People can test their DNA and they see where they come from. There is such a thing, and not only genetically, but spiritually. So the Jew is bounded by God, to God, from his toenails to his hair. Like we're completely connected to him, and we're in his mind all day. He's thinking about us all day. So likewise, it says that a defect in the first cell that passes from father to child may cause a defect in the child's nails. Despite the vast distance between them, the toenail too is bound to the initial source in the father's mind, and the first stimulus happens there in the seed of the child's formation, and that nucleus includes the entirety of the child's being. So in biology, talking science here, that's what he's saying, is that a person is never disattached from the parent. Like you can have a biological father that never met you and you never saw him and you have no idea who he is or whatever. But nevertheless, genetically, you're bounded to him for the rest of your life. It's not something you get rid of.
you're made of him.
Yes. Your makeup, even I see my grandchildren and I have 3 of them and they walk exactly like my father used to walk. They walk in the street like with the hands in the back. And it's things that you say, well, how? They never met him. Why do they walk like him? Exactly. It's a very particular way of walking. So the same thing the Alter Rebbe is saying here is that just as a child, just as a human being, is his nourishment, his life force, from the nails to the hair, everything in his being is bound to the head of the father. The father is the one that gives all the white parts of the body, like the bones, the nails, white blood cells, brain tissue. The mother gives all the red parts, the red cells, the veins, the blood, all that. So there are three partners in creation. There is Hashem, the Holy One, blessed be He, the father and the mother. And his father emits the white seed from which the following body parts are formed, the sinews and bones, the nails and brain, that in his head and in the white of the eyes. This is in the Talmud, in Nida. So he says, to clarify, the nails receive nourishment from the brain in the child's head, not the father's head. So he's saying, our body is nourished by our brain, not the brain of our father, but our brain. But the metaphor corresponds to the connection between the soul of a simple person in comparison to the soul of the leaders of Israel. So we were talking last time about the different levels of a soul. Like there's levels of souls. Like in the world of Atzilut, all souls are emanated. They're not created, they're emanated. So in that point, we're all the same. No, there's no difference. But when there is the descent, the chain-like descent, the hishtaldut of the soul coming down into the world, he starts acquiring different characteristics. So that's why you can have a person who is very spiritual, very easy for him to connect to Torah and learn Torah and get it and grasp it and live it. And then you can have a person that for him is very difficult to connect. And it's not because he's a bad person. It's just that his soul, it was rooted in a certain place where the level of that soul, the quality of the soul is a lower level quality of a soul. But it doesn't mean he's a better person, a worse person. It's just that his capacity to connect to Hashem is harder. And you see, I see people, there are people that for them, it's very hard to connect. Super hard. And then you see people that you talk one thing of Torah and they're like they're drinking it. And it's because it has to do with the quality of the soul. Okay?
I have a question. All the souls emanate from the word of Atzilut, but this is for
Jews. Jews.
And where do the souls of the non-Jews come from?
So we talked about it before. There's there is emanation and there's creation. So a Jew has two souls. It has a soul that is a Neshama Hamahabit, which is called a vivifying soul, animal soul, and then there is the Neshama Elokit, which is the Jewish soul, let's call it, or the divine soul, which the Alter Rebbe explained is Mamesh, a spark of God within every Jew. No matter what quality of a soul he has, every Jew has this spark. That's why love your fellow like yourself. That's what it means. Like that spark that you have is the same spark that I have. We come from the same source. We connect that in Atzilut. We're all together. We're part of one body. We're not disconnected. That's why you see a Jew. It's interesting. You go to Hawaii and you go on vacation and you go to the Chabad house for Shabbat and they open their doors and you're there and there's Jews from everywhere in the world and you feel that you are a family. You don't even know them. Or you go to any place and you need to eat and they send you to a house and people open their doors and they host you and it feels family because it's the commonality of the neshama. We all come from that same spark. And then you have this animal soul, which is the one, which is an ugly name. But in reality, there's nice animals. It doesn't have to be a bad animal. It can be a wonderful animal. Right? You can be a wonderful, beautiful animal. This soul is in the blood of the person. The P.O. box is in the left side of the heart, where it pumps the blood, and then it distributes itself throughout the whole body. So it's in every organ, every cell of your body that has blood. This soul is everywhere. And it's a soul that is a vivifying soul that comes from the other side, which is called the Sitra Achra, comes from a place called the Klipa Noga. Okay, so this Klipa Noga, Klipa means husk, shell. So when you're gonna eat a nut, for example, you have to crack the shell, right? Inside you have a delicious almond, and you eat it. So the same way, this everything that is created from this other side, the Klipa Noga, is not transparent to the Creator. That's exactly what it is. Whatever comes from the face of God is transparent to the Creator. Whatever doesn't come from the face of God is not transparent to the Creator. So this is Klipa Noga. It's parv. It's not good, it's not bad. It's a tea.
Make it good or bad.
I can make it good or bad. I can do a bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh bidbaro. And say thank you to Hashem for the wonderful tea, for giving me whatever I need to be able to teach a class and to be a person that is fulfilling mitzvot, is nourishing me. Or I can just drink it and gulp it down, and just like then the opportunity of this beautiful tea was lost. It gets trapped and it doesn't go up. So it says that the reason that the galut, that's what Hasidus says, that there's too many trapped sparks in the world, and that's why Jews are all over the world. Because what we're doing is we're releasing the sparks. I had a boy that was going to, he's in a football team, soccer team from, I don't know, Peru, no, from Argentina. He's one of these getting famous. So he ended up going to play in, I don't know, Guangzhou in Japan, in China, somewhere very random. And I had him for Shabbat, and Roberto, my husband, asked him, so what is a nice Jewish boy from Argentina doing in Guangzhou in a soccer team? He said, I don't know. He says, well, you have a job there. You have a job as a Jew. If you're going there, Hashem is not sending you there just because. There's a purpose for you to be in this place. Put on tefillin, do she'akol whenever you're going to drink the bottle of water. I don't know, do something Jewish in the place, because the place is waiting for you. A person is not going to end up in a place just because. I saw a lady yesterday, she's going to a safari in Pesach in the middle of Africa. And I'm like thinking like, what? But I said, Rose, for sure there's a spark there that's waiting for you. We don't end up in places just because. It's not random.
I have a question.
See.
The animal soul is not created in the same level as the other soul.
No.
So the animal soul is created in the part of the creation, no?
It's creation.
It's creation.
It's creation.
So we have,
Just as the sun and the moon and the stars and the water and all creation.
You're thinking about the soul of an animal or of an
no, an animal soul.
The animal soul.
So our souls, that is where you said the first.
The
and then
Neshama
that
Elokit.
is in the creation.
In the creation. One is emanation. One is emanation. So emanation is like if you see the ray of light coming here from the sun, that's an emanation of the sun. It's not a creation. If you trace that light up to the source, you're going to end up in the sun. And then you're not going to see anything else. You're only going to, you need a special suit, not to burn. But you're going to be inside of that fireball. But since you're far away, you can see the emanation. You can see the ray of light. But this chair is a creation. This is a creation. The person that made it took the plastic and the metal,
I understand.
and it's a creation.
But so we're the Jewish people, like Hashem, give us that
Special
godly
soul.
and then we go to the other world, put it together with the animal soul, and then we keep going down. And the people that are not Jewish are only in the creation. Okay, I'm like,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So we have we have extra responsibility.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Wow.
That's the reality. You're the big brother. You're the big brother. You're a representation of God in this world. You have Mamesha spark. So you have to really live up to that. Because you're not just like anything else. You carry God within you every day, every moment. You're taking him with you everywhere you go. So it says that the nefesh, ruach, and neshama, which we talked about, the 5 levels of the soul. There's 3 levels of the soul that are within the body. That is the nefesh, which is the let's say it's the behavior part of the soul, behavior, instinctive level of the soul. Then you have the ruach, which is the level of the soul that is connected to the emotions, your emotions. Then you have neshama, which is intellect. Okay? So these 3 levels are within the person. And then you have 2 other levels that are outside. One is Haya, which is encompassing, and you have Yehida, which is the oneness with Hashem. It's a level of your soul that never comes down. It's always there. I read something beautiful in Shabbat from the Ibn Ezra, and he says that when Shabbat comes in, you have you acquire an extra level of soul. It's not that you get a new soul, because they say on Shabbat you get another soul. It's you get at the level of Haya comes into your body on Shabbat, and that's the prayer of Musaf is connected to that level of neshama, so of soul. So it says that this level of the soul comes down to the world on Shabbat to learn Torah. That's why it's so important on Shabbat to learn Torah. And he's learning new things of Torah in down here. And when he comes up there, there's a very big commotion of souls that come, the levels of soul of these hayas that come down and then go up again. And they're all asking each other, what did you learn? What did you learn? What did you learn? That's so nice. I read it from the Ibn Ezra. I thought it was so nice. So it comes for a purpose. It's not just that it comes to give you extra whatever. It comes for a purpose. So it says that the nefesh, ruach, and neshama of simple Jews are like the toenails of God's firstborn child, and they receive their vitality from the nefesh, ruach, and neshama of the head of the Jewish people in their generation, which correspond to the brain. So what it's saying is that in every generation, you have Jews that are head, you have Jews that are eyes, you have Jews that are ears, hands, and the lowest, the most simple people are the toenails. Like this very simple, they don't care if they learn, if they don't learn, they don't know how to express, but all of them are part of it's a soul with different levels. So it's likewise written in Etz Haim with regard to the mystery of Adam's garments in the Garden of Eden, that they were made of nails. And so the garments, their bodies in the Gan Eden, before they made the boo-boo of the first sin, was a different body. It wasn't like our body. It was a body that was made like it was translucent. It was like made of nails. And when they did the sin, they descended from this place, and the body changed, became more dense, more like the bodies we have. Well, yeah, coarse. The purpose of our lifetime is to refine that body. It's not the soul. The purpose of our life is not the soul. Yeah, people think, oh, I have to elevate my soul, and I have to elevate my soul. The body doesn't need to, the soul doesn't need to be elevated. The soul is perfect. The godly soul is a spark of Hashem, unadulterated. It's perfect. It's shiny, it's a diamond, it's perfect. But the body gets coarser. It goes together because it's the blood is in the body. It goes together. So the body, refine the body is to make it transparent to the godly neshama. You see, I have water here. This vessel that is containing the water is transparent. So I can see the water, right? Imagine that this is the body and this is the soul. This is another body, and inside there's another soul. But I cannot see the soul. I only see the body. So the body has to become transparent to the godly soul.
So the good neshama can reflect, no?
Exactly.
The light can go out.
Yeah.
But do they explain how to get?
Yeah, you do this by it's a job. It's a complete job. When you eat, when you have relationships with your husband, you're being intimate. There's a whole protocol, a book called the Shulchan Aruch,
The mitzvah?
all the mitzvot, all the
They were like, no,
and it really comes from the behavior. It comes from your behavior. It's the way you behave makes you more transparent to who you are.
What you see, what you speak, what you
Yeah.
everything,
How you
right?
treat
What you touch,
people,
how you don't.
how you treat people, how you, yeah, everything. So it's the, you know, nowadays I get these things of the fascia and how to take care of your muscles and menopause. It's go on and go on and go on. But this is very rooted in the Torah, because you have to take care of your body, but not in a vain way. You understand? Not because of vanity of looking beautiful. I don't want to look like I'm 57. I want to look like 30. No, I take care of my body because I am holding within my body a spark of God. So I have to eat things that are conducive to that spark. I have to dress in a way that it's going to reveal the spark. I have to speak things that are going to reveal the spark. I have to think things that are going to reveal the spark. And how do we do this? Coming to the Midrashat religiously and learning how to do it. Esther has a whole protocol here from prayer, bitahon, Tanya, Humash. You have all these that really, the more you learn and more you apply, the more transparent to who you really are you're going to become.
The soul spot. We come to it's true.
This
It
is-
needs to take care of it.
Of the soul, but also the body. They go hand in hand. It's the first shidduch in the world, body and soul. So a marriage to go well for the young girls, you have to be in tune. If you're not in tune, it's hard. You're gonna be hitting yourself against walls. But the same is with the body and the soul. If the body's taking you to one place and the soul is trying to take you to another, and you're not getting together in the same page, or at least in the same book, then it's gonna be a clash of soul and body throughout your whole life. And then people start thinking, why am I sick because of this? Why am I sick because of this? Why do this hurts here? Why does this not? Because there's no synchronicity. There's no way. Yeah, it's not going well. Okay? So says in the Kabbalistic terms, the word used here for the faculty of understanding, tevuna, is the external aspect of the attribute of bina, and bina is the understanding itself, while tevuna is the cognitive response towards reality that exists outside the mind, as opposed to the objects of the intellect. So you have three attributes that are intellectual attributes: chokmah, bina, that. You have wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. This is the way that our head works. It can go either way. You can have mundane wisdom. You can know how to apply all the AIs in the world, and you invent them, and you make all these things, technological advances, because you have an incredible wisdom and you have an incredible understanding, and then you have knowledge, right? Which is great. Doesn't take away. If you have that brain, please, for all sakes, bring us the cure for every malady in the world. But there's also Chokmah Bina that is connected to the godly neshama. So every time that a person thinks Torah, speaks Torah, acts Torah, then is the intellectual capacity of the soul connected to Hashem. Every time we think about what am I gonna make for dinner, doesn't have to be sinful. Oh, I have to make dinner. I have 10 guests tonight. What am I gonna cook? This is wisdom, Chokhmah. So you take out the nice book that they just gave you for your birthday, Sababas. You sit down, you look at the recipes, and then you start looking, and then you say, oh, I wanna do this meat. Okay, what do I need? I need the French roast, I need the pearled onions, I need the vinegar, the balsamic vinegar. Then it says you have to put this ingredient. What is that? I have no idea what that ingredient is. I've never heard of it. Google, oh, it's this weird mushroom from the Himalayas. It's amazing. It's a super food, whatever. Okay, where can I buy it? This is Bina. Okay, and then Das, which is knowledge, is okay. I did the recipe. Next time, I don't have to look at everything. I just know what to put in the pot, and I just know how to do it. It becomes part of you. So it says that the tevuna, which is the understanding, which is part of the bina process, functions as type of a garment or outward expression for bina, and that is why it corresponds to the nails, which were Adam's garments in the Garden of Eden, and to the nails of all humans today, which encase the fingers and the toes. So you see that the nail is like an outside protection for the fingers. Also, I read something incredible about the three levels of the soul. The soul that is dressed, like the shoe that you put on a shoe, right? So a shoe is protecting your feet. So it's the same way. The nefesh, ruach, and neshama. It's like a shoe for the rest of the soul. Like it only covers the three lower parts, but the rest is uncovered. And so I thought it was nice. So it says here, it's literally the same as it were, just as there is an extremely complex and obscure relationship between the initial drop of life in the father's mind and his child's toenails. The same is true of the connection between the souls of Israel and the Father in heaven. So just as the baby is connected to the Father, the same is the whole Am Israel is connected to our Father in heaven, to Hashem. See, the lowest of the lowest to the highest of the highest, from the biggest rabbi of our generation to the lowest Jew of our generation. We're all connected to the same. And so the various limbs of the body are on the different levels, serving varying functions, yet each one stems from the same drop of seed in the Father's mind. And so too the soul of Israel will with all their varying levels, from the highest strata, corresponding to the heads of Israel, which would be the Tzadikim and the big Talmid Haham of our generations, or our forefathers, Moshe, Rabbeinu, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they were heads of their generations, to the most ignoramus sinners and heretics, are all at their deepest root portion of God on high. Just like Korah, who was, what was he thinking about? He's also part of that head. And I read once, I don't remember where, that we are as strong as the weakest link. We're all part of a big chain, and we're as strong as the weakest link. We're not as strong as the highest rabbi. We're as strong as the weakest link, because the Jew that brings Israel down pulls everybody down. And that's why Chabad is so strong in doing mitzvot, because they always say you never know what mitzvah a person does, it's going to tip the scales. Like maybe a person, a simple Jew, will go and give a tzedakah to the Midrashat that never wants to come to learn, let's say, but she gave her a check. Look, you're my friend, I have here a check for your Midrashat. And you don't know if that person is tipping all the scales and it's bringing everybody up. So I heard someone talk yesterday, and it was nice what she said, but there was something that bothered me. And she said, like what you do is only affects you. And I kept quiet because it was not nice to say anything, but I said, like, what you do not only affects you, it affects everybody. We're all in the same boat. If you're in a boat and one person decides to drill a hole in the boat, we're all sinking. It not only is gonna drown this person, it drowns everybody. It affects your parents, it affects your siblings, it affects people in another place of the world that doesn't even know you. They say that the butterfly effect, that the butterfly feathers their wings in Thailand, and there's a tsunami in California. We affect everything. When people say, no, it's only me, it's only me, it's not gonna harm anybody else, it's about me. Yes, you're harming everybody else. You're taking everybody down with you. And if a Jew does something extraordinary, he takes everybody up. So we're one chain. We're not separate. And this is something that we have to understand. Like, I hope in Israel they get it. That the one hits another Jew, like it's like he's hitting all the Jews. When we harm one Jew, we're harming every Jew. We're harming ourselves and we're harming every Jew. So we're gonna leave it here because I see that our guest speaker is here.
Thank you so much, Margie. I want to offer you this beautiful Birkat Notes sheet that our previous Nora Revitalina made.
That's
She has a
beautiful.
beautiful
This is
dress,
beautiful.
and it's very nice.
Oh, we have to look for the blooms now.
Yeah.
I will do it in Israel
Yes, Bezrat Hashem, you're right.
When are you going?
next week.
It